It's a really, really important thing that we do strength training and impact training, and I'll explain what that is as we go through it, for our bone density, for our strength, for our capacity. And we don't need to lift crazy heavy weights, but it's really, really important that we do add a load to so many of our exercises, because when we add a load, our body responds by getting fitter and stronger. And one of the things that you will hear me say a zillion times is that we do not add a load to an exercise until we are proficient in the exercise. Another goal of this class today and of these Strong Bones classes is to show you, not tell you, but actually show you how efficient and effective a 30-minute practice can be. What we need for today is a chair and 1 or 2 sets of weights. And I'm going to say it one more time. We want to make sure that we are proficient in the exercise before we add a load. So the first thing we're going to do is warm up on our chair. And this is also for me to make sure that your chair is sturdy and that it's not going to slide around. If you feel like your chair is sliding around, please push it against the wall. If you have a weight bench at home, you can absolutely use the weight bench instead. So the way that we start is that we have our hands on our chair. Now you're going to remember this from all of the exercise classes that we do. I often talk about a hinge, and we want to be able to hinge from the hips. So that means your back is long. Let's have your hands on your chair. Now, future classes will be harder and we'll be moving quicker, but it's really important for me today that you understand how to do these exercises. So forgive me if it feels a little bit slow or super, super basic. I want to make sure that your back is long. What does that mean? That you have the natural arc of your back. If when you're over like this, you feel like this, what I want you to do is either lean against the wall or lean against the arms of the chair. So we all have a hinge in our hips, and we're just going to lift. I'm going to start the timer. We're just going to lift the right leg up and down for 30 seconds. Now, this is a super glute strengthener, but we are also practicing our hinging at the hips, which means our back is long and we're moving our thigh bone, our femur, our right leg, up and down in the hip. We're not going to think about counting as much as timing today, because I want you, at least for this, I want you to work on the form. Okay, that was 30 seconds. Bring yourself up. We're going to go over, we're going to do the other side. So we're hinging at the hips, the hands are on your chair, and we're going to lift the left leg up. Now what we're trying to do is not only wake up the body, but to wake up the specific hip, that would be the left side, and the back. And to practice this hinge position, because we're going to be adding weights to this position in a few minutes. Plus, you guys know I love strengthening the glutes. I think it's the answer to everything. Let's get a few more times. Keep your hips level. Let's get one more time. Okay, bring yourself up. We're still warming up. That was 30 seconds. Relax your knees. We're going to do one arm circle for 30 seconds. So we're standing pretty tall. I just started the timer, and your right arm is making a big circle. Now you might think, oh, this is kind of easy, Winnie. We do this all the time. But when was the last time we did this together for 30 seconds? And like anything, the medicine of an exercise is in the dosage, right? So one time is nice, especially if after sitting at your desk all day. But 30 seconds is life-changing. Please allow yourself to rotate as you do your circle. We're going to get the other side, which means we're doing the left arm. I have the timer because I want you not to worry about how many you're doing today, but to just see how it feels to do something for 30 seconds. If you need to go slower, go slower. If this doesn't feel right on your shoulder, we have 10 seconds. I highly recommend that you bend your elbow and decrease your range of motion. Let's get 2 more times. So great. Okay, and let's release from there. Now we're going to go a little bit deeper into our warm-up and do a regular hinge movement. And we'll be adding weights to this in a moment. So your hands are on your hips, your knees are bent, the timer is on, and we're pivoting. Now, keep your eyes straight ahead. But once or twice, look towards me and notice that my hips are pivoting back as I bend forward. And we need to remember this as we add weights to this exercise, which I call a hip hinge. But when we start adding weights to it, we can call this a stiff-legged deadlift. That was 30 seconds. Okay, totally let that go. We're moving on. So we're going to have a seat on the chair. And if you're using a bench, you can use the bench as well. Ideally, your knees are in line with your hips, but if you feel really, really unsure about anything, you could add more padding underneath your bum so that you're not sitting as deeply. We're going to be doing something called sit to stand, and I'd like us all to practice one or two, and then we're going to get fancy. The most important thing is that we have that hip hinge from the hips. So in other words, if you feel like this, I'd like you to elevate the level of your chair. So let's just practice this together. Our feet are down, our hands are at our chest, and we're going to come up and down. And my advanced students, please bear with me. It's going to get harder in a second. Okay. Now, what do you do if that's too hard for you? Please stay with me. And remember, use your strength to help you. So if that was hard for you, and it could be for a million reasons, you're going to use your hands, right? So let's try that together. You use your hands evenly, of course, and then you sit down. So now we all have the exercise called sit to stand, which is in the category of squats, which is super fabulous and really important for us to do. What I'd like us to do for the next 30 seconds is to sit and stand as many as we can and count to yourself. And I want you to remember that number and tell me that number after class. I'm going to start the timer, but if you are unsure, do 20 seconds. But let's see how many we can go. And I'm going to count mine out loud just as a guideline or a framework. 30 seconds begin. Here we go. So I'm coming up and down. Count to yourself. And if you're not sure, kind of getting nervous about this, all of these new exercises, just come with me, right? And do it in the same tempo. And I am counting them on number 5 as I am. If you're out of breath, take a break. If you're like, this is easy, Winnie, go a little bit faster. I'm on number 8, maybe you're on number 6, maybe you're on number 10. So that was, for me, 9. And just remember that number because we will be going back to that. Now we're going to go back to that hinge exercise, and you're going to pick up your light weights. If you have done this exercise before and you're confident, you could pick up heavier weights. But here's the rule, always. Do not add a load or increase a load until you're proficient at the exercise. Please hold the weights, one weight in each hand, and remember the hinge. We're actually going to count with these because I want to make sure you have these correct. So we're going to come over, you're going to hinge at the hips, and then you're going to come up. And if you're thinking, Winnie, I picked up too light of weights, we'll have a chance to increase the weight in a minute. So then come over. Now what I want you to notice as we do these stiff-legged deadlifts is that our hips are going back and forth. Yet the weights are going up and down, right? Really, really important to me for our goals with this group today is that your back stays in that hinge position. So we're not rounding. We're not doing cat-cow. The moving joint, we're going to do about 6 more times, are the hips. Notice for yourself, and you could use a mirror, you can stop, you could also always videotape yourself, that the weights are moving up and down in a straight line. And the hips are moving forward and back. My more flexible students, feel free, let's get 2 more times, to make the weight go lower, but you must keep your back long. Excellent. Okay, let's put the weights down. Check this out. When I put the weights down, we bend the knees. Take a second here. So how did that feel? You can use the same amount of weight if that felt, okay, I'm kind of learning it and feeling it, or you can pick up your moderate weights to do it again. And for today, we're going to repeat it nice and slow because I really want everyone to get this exercise. So feel free to pick up the same weights or weights that are slightly heavier. The most important thing is that you are able to do the exercise proficiently before you add a load. Your body can't count. It just knows when it's being challenged. So we're going to roll the shoulders back, and we're going to get 15 together. Please, in this case, don't go faster than me, but you are welcome to go slower. So we're going to come down. So that's 1. And then we're going to come up. So my flexible students, you guys might look like this. You can come over way more like this, but keep the back long. Now, as you come up, can you start, we're in number 3, to push into your inner heels and to squeeze your glutes together as you come up. If you are, we're in number 6, regretting the amount of weight you picked up, take a break and pick up something lighter. Are you able to keep this super fabulous form? Let's get 7 more to make it 15. Now, if you can't do at least 8, the weight is too heavy for you today. If this is super easy, why don't we just, we have about 4 more times. Why don't we just let something be easy today? Because there's so many things lately that might be challenging. Let's get 2 more times, please. Remember, hips are going back and forth. Weights are going up and down. Super fabulous. Make a mental note for yourself on how much weight you used, and then please bend your knees and put down the weight. We're going back to our sit to stand, but now we're going to add a weight. I suggest you pick up the lightest weight you have, unless you've done this before and you're very confident in it. Adding a load changes an exercise so much. So you're going to pick up your weight and you take that weight, let's say a 5 or a 2, maybe an 8 or a 10 for a few of us, and you hold it at your chest. And then you get curious. How many can I do in good form? We're not going to use a timer. We're just going to see if we can do 12. We start sitting, we're hinging at the hips, and we're coming up and down. So I am counting. We're in number 2, and I'm going to ask you for today to not go faster than me, to really own and control every rep. It is super important to do things in good form before we add a load and to feel in control of the exercise. You might have a squeaky chair like me giving you feedback. So see if you can sit down lightly, right? As if you don't really trust the chair. Let's get 6 more times. Keep the weight close to your chest. Let's get 5. Make a mental note. How does the weight feel? How do you feel? How do your legs feel? Is your muscles getting tired, or are you losing your breath? One has to do with stamina, and one has to do with strength, and they're both important. Let's get 3 more times. Excellent work, guys. 2 more. 1 more time. Fabulous. Please put that down, bend the knees and put that down, and make a mental note about how that felt. So one of the main exercises that we are basing our program on is something called Stomp squats. And the reason why Stomp squats are so important is that they provide impact. And often when we think about exercise, and especially those of us old enough, like from the high impact aerobic years, we think about jumping up and down vigorously. And that might have its place for some people. But for our goals today, we want to challenge your bones. And to do that, we want to provide impact as well as a load. So I'm going to show you Stomp squats. We have a couple of videos already on the channel about it, and then we're going to do them together. So it's the same thing that we did with sit to stand. The difference is that we stomp our feet, right? Like a kid would stomp their feet and say, no, no, give me cookies. So just try this on your own. Stomp. Do this again. Stomp. If you were able to do the sit to stands with weights, you can probably do this as well. We're not going to add weights today because we already added weights to squats. And I really want you to have the experience of adding impact, which is so important for bone density, into your practice. So we're going to do 5 together and then we're going to re-examine how it feels. So hands are at your chest, but if anyone's feeling shaky, unsure, not confident, or with back pain, your hands are at your legs, and they're going to help you stand up and down. So I'm going to make a really loud stomp so you can hear how much impact we really want this to be. Stomp, stand. Whew, my yoga studio just shook. Stomp, stand. Try this on your own. Make a audible noise with your feet. 3 more. So that's number 3. Let's get 2 more. 2 and 1. So that was 5 stomp squats. And if that went well for you, we are going to do it again, but now we're going to do 12. If that didn't go well for you, you're going to keep working on the sit to stands and build up the strength to be able to do that. And yes, we will be adding weight to stomp squats, but not today, because remember the rule? We don't add weights to anything until we are proficient in the exercise. So let's do this together. We're doing 12. And if the stomping was too much for you, or you're unsure, recovering from any kind of injury, you'll do sit to stance. I'm going to try and make an audible noise with my feet just to give you a guideline, but what I want you to try at home is making an audible noise with your feet. Make a stand, stomp. Hands are at your chest unless you need your hand on your legs. Here we go for 12. 1, sit quietly. 2, sit quietly. 3. So you stop noisily. We're at number 4. And you sit quietly. 5. Could not be better. 6. Remember you're hinging at the hips. 7. Stomping your feet. Squeezing your butt on top, right? 8. Need a break? You take a break. If not, join me for 4 more. Stomp your feet. And this is also the kind of thing that you will feel tomorrow, right? 2 more. Your glutes, your legs will all feel very, very powerful. Let's get 1 more time. Excellent. So that was stomp squats. See how you feel. If you need a break, you take a short break. We're moving on to our upper body exercise. So the exercise that we're doing today is 1-arm rows. And what I love about 1-arm rows is that it gives you some support with your lower back so that you can lift the weights. So please pick up, and I'll talk you through this, please pick up your moderate weight and have your right foot forward, your left foot back, the weight is in your right hand, and your left hand is on your bench or chair. And we're trying to have the weight hang in a straight line. Your back, and this is super important, is super long with a hinge, and if you cannot hinge, put your hand on a higher surface. So the weight is here, and we're going to lift and lower 10 times. If you're not sure, you take a glance. If you're thinking, oh, Winnie, this weight's too easy, let something be easy today as we learn the exercises. So what is moving? We're on number 3. What is moving right now is your right arm and your right shoulder blade. We're in number 5. Your right shoulder blade is getting closer to your left shoulder blade, and the rest of the body is still. Please take your time. If you want to get fancy, you give a little squeeze factor on top, which means you squeeze your shoulder blades together. Let's get 2 more. Love these. These are called the 1-arm rows. 1 more. Hold it. Excellent. Bring yourself up. Super fabulous. We're doing the other side. Make a mental note on how the weight feels for you. And for today, please, I would rather it be too easy than too hard. Remember, we need to be proficient in the exercise before we add a load. That's how exercise works, by making it work for us. So the weight is in the left hand. The right foot is forward. We're pivoting at the hips. Your right hand is on the chair. We're going to pull the weight up and down. Now, if you need a visual, we are number 2. Notice that my back is long. That my right arm or my right hand, we are on number 7, let's get 5 more times, is supporting my body. So I can pull my left shoulder blade towards my right shoulder blade. Let's get 2 more times. And then if you want to get fancy, we got that squeeze factor, right? Hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it. And then you bring that up. So those are 1-arm rows. And we have many variations on how to strengthen the back, but that's my favorite one to get started. If you were able to easily do 12 with me, feel free to increase the weight. If that was too heavy or you're not sure, stay with the weight you started with. So put down the lighter weight if you'd like and pick up your heavier weight. What's happening? The weight is in the right hand, the right foot's forward, the left hand is on the chair. You're letting the weight hang. Now we're going to lift and lower 12 times. And for today, don't go faster than me. If anything, go slower. So we're coming up, 1 and down, and 2 and down. Your neck is long, 3 and down. You're squeezing your shoulder blades together, 4 and down, 5 and down. What's moving? Your right elbow, 6 and down. Your right shoulder blade, 7 and down. You're pausing on top, 8, so enough to really feel what's going on, and down. 3 more times. Hold it up and bring it down. 2 more. Hold it up and bring it down. 1 more time. Hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it. Excellent. Bring yourself up. Same weight, other side. Hold the weight in the left hand, left foot forward, right foot back. Hand is supporting you. Now here we go. Lift and lower, we're going for 12. Now if it feels better for you, we're at number 2, to have both feet back and hinge like this, that is also correct. The main thing, we're at number 4, is that the rest of our body for today is supported. We're at number 6. And down. Please squeeze number 7, your shoulder blades together. And if possible, you're keeping the weight very close to the body. Let's get 2 more. Let's get 1 more time. Hold it, hold it, hold it. And then bring that down and bring yourself up. Make a mental note. How did that feel? How did the weight feel? How does your body feel? Please put that down, and we're going to move the chair to the side for now. From here, we're going to work on one more thing for upper body strength, and that's push-ups. So to do that, we're going to come to the floor, and we're going to take our yoga blocks underneath our hands, and we're going to set up as if we're in a push-up position. Now, if doing push-ups on the floor is too much, you can absolutely positively do them against the wall. And in other classes, I'll give you a ton because I have a zillion. I was a strength coach for 40 years. Remember, exercises for pushing. But I think the push-up is a super exercise because it also gets the core so much. So your hands are on the yoga blocks, and you're going to walk your feet back and pivot over from the knees. So it's a straight line from your knees to your shoulder. The yoga blocks, if you're using a yoga mat, they're wider than a yoga mat because when you push down, you want the elbows to come to the side. If anyone's feeling like this doesn't work for them, it can be done at the wall, or you can just hold the top of the push-up. So we're going to walk the knees back. Let's do this together. And we're going to pivot forward. So everyone has that, right? Now, you can stay right here, or you come halfway down and then come up. And if that went well, you can come all the way down and then come up. So in terms of adding a load, we're going to do a few more times together. The adding a load in this case would be the depth of your push-up. So we do not go deeper, let's say all the way down, until we are able to proficiently, safely, effectively, and confidently go halfway down. So you decide for yourself today what is best for you. And then bring yourself up. And then sit in any way that feels comfortable to you. Take your hands on your shoulders, and let's just make some circles to stretch out. So again, we want to progressively increase the load of the exercise. But we do not increase the load until we're proficient at the exercise. And proficiency means different things for different people. We're going to do one more round of push-ups, and we're going to make sure that you have something that works for you. It could be at the wall, just holding it. It could be setting up in a plank position and just holding that. It could be coming a quarter of the way down, halfway down, or all the way down. Make a commitment to do something that works for you, and we're going to do 10 push-ups together. So let's start halfway down. So that's 1. But if that's too much, go a quarter of the way down. That's 2. If that's too much, just practice holding it with me. Now, if you want to get fancy, when you push yourself up, push those yoga blocks more into the floor, like you're making a sandwich or a grilled cheese sandwich. Let's get 4 more times, but if 4 more is too much, do 2. Maybe you just want to hold it, right? Let's get 2 more. Let's get 1 more time. Excellent. And then bring yourself back. Take a second here. Let's get your hands onto your shoulders and let's get 8 big circles. So we have 8, 7, 6, 5, a little bigger circles, please. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring that down. So we did a squat exercise, a hinge exercise, a pull exercise, and a push exercise. And these are all foundational exercises that we will do in our Strong Bones program to get stronger. But we also wanted, and those also work the core, but I'd like to do a specific core exercise right now. So move your yoga block to the side and pick up the lightest weight you have. And that might be a wrist weight, that might be a 1-pound weight, it might be a 2-pound weight. We're going to do alternate arm and leg, which is one of our favorite core exercises, but we're going to do it holding a weight. And the way we're going to do this, and if you're wearing a wrist weight, the wrist weight might be enough, is that we're going to be on all fours, and we're going to extend the left leg out and the right arm out as well. But the right hand is going to hold that very light dumbbell and turn your palm in. And if you're like, my dumbbell is too heavy for this, don't use the dumbbell. Maybe just do it without it for today. And we're going to lift and lower 4 times. So we're going to lift and lower. And what you will notice is that by adding on this little bit of a load, the whole exercise has changed, right? That was 4. Bring that down, switch. So what's happening now is the right leg is out, the left arm is out, and you're going to hold that light weight, the lightest weight you have, and turn the palm in. And if you feel like this is too heavy for me today, Winnie, don't use any weight at all. It's still going to work. And we're going to lift and lower. But what I'd like you to experience today is how adding one little thing to an exercise can transform, we're one more time, the entire exercise. Bring that down, take a second here. It's kind of like adding sriracha to scrambled eggs. It changes the entire meal. We're going to do that one more time. Make a mental note if that was too hard for you, and if it was, you don't use any weight at all. Or notice, did that feel just fabulous? If it did, we're going to do 8 repetitions instead of 4. So we're on all fours. We pick up the lightest weight we have in our right hand, left leg out, up and down 8 times. Please go slower than me, not faster. So we lift and lower. And I'd like you to notice how adding just a little bit of a load today has changed everything. And that's what we have 4 more times we want to do. We want to add in just a little bit of extra load or challenge or work, and it will transform our strength, our bone density, and the way we feel. That was 8 in the body we woke up in today. Super fabulous. Let's get the other side. So right leg, left arm, light weight, up and down 8 times. Please go slower than me, not faster. If you feel like the weight's too heavy, it's too heavy today, and please put down the weight. The goal is to challenge ourselves a little bit at a time. And those workouts add up so that we get stronger and fitter. Let's get 2 more times, please. 1 more time. Hold it, hold it, hold it. Bring that down. Put that to the side. Bring yourself into any kind of seated position that feels good for you. You could be sitting on your heels or sitting cross-legged. We're going to go back to the shoulder warm-up that we did in the beginning of class. So you could also be sitting on a chair. So right arm only, please. We're going to make this big giant circle and turn to the back. Let's get 7 more. So like I said in the beginning of class, the medicine of an exercise is in the dosage, right? So doing one of these after you sit at your desk all morning is great. But doing 8 of them will change the way you feel all day long. Let's get 2 more times. Maybe a little bit bigger, right? One more time. And then before we go to the other side, pause and notice the profound difference of 8 circles for your body. Let's get the other side. I'm going to flip so you guys can see. Again, this can be done on the chair. So we are here. So you start off just moving your shoulder. And to just move your shoulder means your chest is facing forward. And then you add in a slight, gentle, healthy twist, which means your chest starts to turn towards the left. And this should feel good on your body. And we're keeping the length in our back, right? We're also getting a little bit of a neck stretch as we're turning our head. Let's get 1 more time. And then bring your hands to your knees. And notice the space in the body. Notice the pulsing in the body. Notice how your body has responded to the challenge you have given it in this quick 30-minute practice by feeling more awake, alive, and alert. And yes, absolutely, we're always talking about the body strengthening bones, strengthening muscles, and increasing mobility. But notice how your brain feels, because it's all connected. Such good work. Please let me know. Number 1, how many sit to stands you did in that initial 30 seconds, how the exercises worked for you, and any questions you have about how to make them work for you better, because that is how exercise works, by figuring out ways to make it work for you. And although it seems, at least to me, it seems like that practice was so quick and it flew by, and we didn't even do that much. We did a lot of new things with a load today. So your body will respond by getting stronger, getting more mobile, increasing your bone density, and also just feeling more able and capable and in control. Wonderful work today. Keep a note on how many sit to stands you did, because the next time we do them, we'll probably all be able to do a few more. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Reach out with your questions. I am here.